Hello everybody, my name is Christius and welcome to another discussion about Dragon Ball Super. I know it's midweek and I should have had this video out a couple days ago, but I really got tied up with homework and video games, so I haven't been able to record until today, and I figured better late than never on recording because I want to get back into the knack of recording at least once a week. Maybe after school lets out for the semester, I'll start doing twice a week, but for now, I want to do at least once a week. Also, that lady over there is my wife. She's working on her content for her video because she has a little art channel, so she's making sketches right now. Like I said, we share the office space. Anyway, on to Dragon Ball Super episode 126. That episode was really, really, really cool. Not the best, not the worst. I say that a lot of people think is one of the best episodes because a lot of people are really big on Vegeta, and they for some reason like Vegeta a lot. I have no problems with Vegeta, but I don't think Vegeta's like the best character. Obviously, y'all all know I like Krillin. I have these two little figurines I bought about a month or two ago. One's Krillin, one's Piccolo. I'll bring them in here and show them to you later. But yeah, Krillin's my favorite, but I don't know. Vegeta just has this following, and there are some really high end Vegeta followers. Like one of my coworkers that I talked to about this stuff, he says that if Vegeta gets knocked out, he's been saying it since the beginning of the tournament. If Vegeta gets knocked out, he's stopping watching. Doesn't care who knocks him out. If Vegeta gets knocked out, he's not going to watch Dragon Ball Super anymore. And I don't really understand that very much. It's a really good show, and you shouldn't watch it just for one character. Which I don't think he'll stop watching it. He likes the show too much. But anyway, this episode was all about Vegeta, which I appreciate. Like, the man deserves some credit. He's been keeping pace with Goku for years now. Somewhat. But this episode, when it started, I just started laughing. Like, getting to watch Toppo squeeze Frieza's head again, beautiful. Because again, like I said, we're in the middle of the Namek arc. We're not going to go much farther than that right now because we're trying to watch it on DVD. We only have season 1 and 2, and we cannot find season 3 and 4 anywhere near us in the stores. We haven't looked online, but in the stores near us, we haven't found 3 and 4, so we're stuck with watching, I think Frieza's killing Nil right now is what he's doing. So yeah, it's nice to watch Frieza get what he deserves happening to him, but it was nice, and then leave it to Frieza for what, a quarter of the way through the show to ruin my entire plan of how Universe 7 might win, which is him being knocked out in a little corner somewhere and forgotten about, and then they win on a technicality. No, he has to get up and try and fight again for some reason to try and fight a guy that's already beat him twice without any problems, and now he's going to pull out some new attacks, which I do appreciate seeing these attacks. I haven't seen attacks like this since the Frieza saga. He froze Toppo using telekinesis and then picked up some rocks and threw it at him. The only problem is we've seen someone from Universe 11 get frozen before, Jiren, and hits time skip, and that didn't work very well for Jiren. Turns out it doesn't work very well for Frieza either. And then pelting him with rocks, like, did he forget that he's shrouded in destruction energy? Those rocks are just going to vaporize as soon as they get near him. Yeah, it would have been a good attack if it wasn't for those two factors, but because of those two factors, it was basically useless, and Frieza got thrashed again. On the bright side, 17 got a little bit more time to contemplate what he was doing, and his strategies. He is probably the best or the second best tactician on Universe 7's team. Krillin might be the best. He might be tied for 17. He might be a little bit below. I'm not sure. But Krillin's a really good tactician, and so is 17. The way he used not only the way he used it, but how quickly he figured out he could use Toppo's Hakai against him by getting him to literally crush a mountain on top of him. That was really, really cool. And again, it would have been super effective if it wasn't for that Shroud of Destruction energy. That Shroud of Destruction energy is just, it's almost as OP as Jiren is. And Jiren right now is my definition of OP. But it was nice watching 17 strategize and try to beat Topo because we know that 17 is not as strong as Topo. But as Krillin pointed out during the training, you don't have to be stronger than your opponent. You just have to be smarter and outmaneuver them, which 17 is clearly doing. Not that Topo's dumb, but 17 is really smart. I really like Topo, by the way. I think I like him a little bit more than Jiren because Jiren's just stoic, stone faced. I will wreck everything. Whereas Topo has actually showed emotion. He gained his power again. I don't think for the first time ever, but he gained his power by throwing away his ideals and justice, ideals of justice. So he's got a lot more depth and emotion to him. Which Jiren's starting to show some emotion, and I do like that. But I'll get to that later. Until then, let's talk about what everybody wants to talk about, the Vegeta Topo fight. For some reason, I watched the episode and I don't quite understand why Topo decided to switch out with Jiren and start fighting Vegeta. It could have been because he was bored and knew that he could beat 17 and Frieza whenever, so he wanted to help Jiren with one of the stronger people. It could have been because Jiren just didn't feel like dealing with Goku and Vegeta on his own, so they had some kind of I don't think they had like a telekinetic talk, but when they looked at each other, they understood instantly what they were going to do. And I really feel sorry for 17 and Frieza getting hit by Jiren's ki blast. Like that is, that's not something I would want to get hit by. But nonetheless, it ended up with Frieza and Topo fighting, which everybody's been waiting for quite some time, since they alluded to it, probably since before they alluded to the fight, when Topo called Vegeta the second fiddle after Vegeta called Topo the second fiddle. But today we learned who the better second fiddle is, which I really don't want to say that. Like, I'll get to that in a minute. You'll understand that thought process. I want to talk more about the fight. Another reason I like this episode, other than it did let Vegeta shine a little bit, is that it showed his more human side. I know he's pure Saiyan, but it showed his more human, his more personal side. He's not just the Prince of all Saiyans who's better than everybody and will best Kakarot. No, he is a man that's fighting to save his 2 children and his wife, and fighting to revive his student and his entire universe. And when he was thinking about that, that was really emotional. And how he told Topo that Topo is weak because he shouldn't have had to throw anything away to get his power, and Vegeta was going to overpower him without throwing any of his ideals away. That was pretty impressive to me. That made me respect Vegeta just a little bit more. But yeah, and then his barrages of attacks were really cool. Universe 11's God of Destruction. A lot of people don't like him. They think he's sneaky or conniving or anything. I don't mind him. Like his thing saying it doesn't matter as long as you don't kill him, destroy everything. Like that's a smart tactic. Like when you have the power to destroy things, to destroy attacks, as long as you don't kill the guy, yeah, it's a good smart tactic to destroy everything. Like really, Topo could have destroyed Vegeta's arms and legs, just like completely got rid of him, and then just tossed his husk off of the thing, and Topo would still be in the game. Vegeta'd still be alive, but he'd be out. And I think that's kind of what I can't remember his name. I know it starts with a B, but that's what that God of Destruction was going for. And he was also probably a little flummoxed with Topo because he wasn't using his powers to the best of his ability. Now, like I said, this isn't Topo's first. I don't think it's Topo's first time in the form, but we know that he doesn't know how to use it to the best of his ability when Jiren said he still takes time to create each Hakai, which he was actually getting quicker and quicker at using it towards the end of the fight with Vegeta. And then Vegeta did something that I wasn't expecting. I don't think anyone was expecting this in this moment. It literally played a scene from Z, Majin Vegeta, when he blew himself up against Buu. And that, like, I'm not the biggest Vegeta fan, but I was sitting there thinking, Vegeta, no, don't do it. Don't, like, it's not worth it. You're going to sacrifice yourself. It might not kill him, or not that it might not come, but it might not knock him out. Don't do it, Vegeta. I was literally saying that, like, there could have been another way, but there really couldn't have been another way. If it wasn't for that attack, I don't think Vegeta would have won the fight. And then, sure enough, Vegeta does his self-destruct attack. A lot better than Chatsu's and the Saibamens. No offense to them. Well, all the offense of the Saibamen. No offense to Chatsu. He did his little self-destruct and destroyed half of the map, guys. Like, half of the stage is gone. If Jiren were a little closer, he could have got rid of both of them. And it also makes me wonder why he hasn't done this to Jiren. Is it, like, it can't be because he wants to overpower Jiren because Jiren's able to beat Goku. That's just... Now that they're showing this more human side of Vegeta where he wants to protect his wife and children, he can't be that conceited, can he? Like, he might be, but maybe he thinks that Jiren could take the attack. I don't think Jiren could, because even if Jiren could take the attack, you still wipe out half the map. He's still going to fall off. Maybe Vegeta really is doing it just so he can try to beat Jiren, who can beat Goku. Maybe he is that cocky. I don't know. I want to think he's not. I want to think he's risen above that. But his attack was really awesome, and I, for a second, didn't think Vegeta survived it. And I'm actually kind of glad he did. And according to Piccolo, the only reason he did survive it is because he had the Super Saiyan, or the Ascended Super Saiyan God form, I believe is what he called it. Or the Super Saiyan God form that surpasses Super Saiyan God. It's basically Super Saiyan 2 God, basically. Not quite. They haven't called it that, but let's face it, it's basically Super Saiyan 2 God. Which means Goku will be getting it soon. A lot of people think it's Super Vegeta God mode, but I don't think so. It might be, because I know there was Super Vegeta, which was different than Super Saiyan Vegeta, and it was just like a step between Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan, and that might be what this is, but who knows? Well, obviously Toei Animation knows. But this episode was just really, really cool. But the thing I mentioned earlier about Frieza and how he ruined my plans might not be ruined, guys. Because when it showed the final showdown between all the fighters, you had Goku, you had 17, you had half of Vegeta, because he was wiped. I know in the preview for the next episode it shows him in Super Saiyan Blue, which I commend him for getting back up to that, but he is completely wiped. And you have Jiren. It didn't show Frieza, but Jiren's still in the match, which means he's not disqualified, which means Frieza's not dead, and he's not on the sidelines. Now, 17 survived the attack because he jumped in a crack in the ground and withstood the attack that way. Maybe Frieza joined him. Maybe Frieza found his own crack. Maybe Frieza found his own way out of that and is hopefully knocked out somewhere out of the way where people will forget about him and we can win on a technicality. So Frieza might still bring the win home with this. But what I mentioned earlier about Jiren finally showing emotion, that was after Toppo got knocked out. Jiren's a little on the mean side. Like, he looked over at Toppo and said, "Oh, I expected more of you." Like, he took an attack that, if it wasn't for Majin Buu's regeneration ability, would have killed Buu. He took an attack that destroyed half a stage that was made out of the hardest element in the multiverse. And Jiren's like, "Oh, I expected more of you." Like, Toppo did his best. And really, Jiren, you should be thankful that Vegeta hasn't used that attack on you, because that might be the only attack that could beat you. And I don't think Universe 7 is going to win that way, because Vegeta's obviously not in any state to use that attack again. Unless what me and my boss were talking about today, something that's kind of been picking at me for half of the tournament now, is 17. 17 and 18, because when I first thought of this, 18 was still in. They both have infinite energy, or infinite stamina. And with that infinite stamina, they can make infinite energy. Why don't they just give their energy to their allies? Like, there's no outside healing. You can't heal using outside items like senzu beans or something. But they haven't said anything about, like, healing through ki, which makes me wonder, like, would Dende have been a better choice than, say, Tien to come into the match, because Dende could have healed them, but then Dende would get targeted. They could have, like, had him hidden, like some of the universe had hidden fighters, and they could have had Dende hidden until later on, and he could be healing the guys, but there's no reason 17 shouldn't be able to give some of his unlimited energy to Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, and give them an edge up on Jiren, except I don't know how much of an edge it'll be because Jiren doesn't look tired. And another thing about Jiren's emotions is I don't know if he's mad or if he's excited, but he is powering up. And I'm both excited and scared to see his power up form, because Jiren's already OP as it is, and I'm pretty sure he could already take the entire team on his own. But now that he's powering up, and I think he did it because they beat Toppo, he did mention to Vegeta that he commended him for beating him. I think he's trying to show them a little bit of respect by saying, hey, y'all have gone this far. How about I show you how far I can go? And I really don't know if Universe 7 is going to win this tournament unless somehow at least Goku or one of the others, maybe 17, stays in the match. And then there's obviously Frieza, who hopefully, really hopefully, is knocked out somewhere and forgotten about, so that Universe 7 can win this. If not, Universe 7 and every other universe rides on the shoulders of Jiren. Anyway, that's all I have to talk about for this episode right now. Hopefully I'll get the next episode after I watch it Saturday. I'll be able to get up a video at least by Monday, so we won't have to wait this long. But that's all I want to talk about for this episode. So until next time, see ya.